We are prisoners of our own eyes. We measure the universe by what we can photograph. We point our telescopes into the dark. We capture the light of distant galaxies. We map the craters on dead moons. And we convince ourselves that we are seeing reality. But the universe does not exist for our cameras. The universe is not obligated to show us its masterpieces. Some of the most violent, breathtaking, and impossibly beautiful things in the cosmos are locked away. Buried behind walls of crushing pressure, hidden beneath atmospheres so thick they swallow light whole. They exist in absolute, permanent darkness. They do not need an audience. They do not care if we know they are there. And nowhere is this terrifying indifference more apparent than inside the seventh planet from the Sun. If you look at a photograph of Uranus, you see nothing. A pale, featureless sphere of cyan. A blank canvas. When Voyager 2 flew past it in 1986, the images it sent back were so devoid of detail that scientists were genuinely disappointed. It looked like a dead world. A quiet, frozen ball of gas, tumbling on its side in the freezing outskirts of the solar system. But Uranus is a liar. The calm blue face is a facade, a ceiling. What we call Uranus is just the roof of a planetary slaughterhouse, a place where the laws of chemistry and physics are warped into something that human engineering cannot replicate and human biology cannot survive. Let us leave the surface. Let us sink beneath the pale blue clouds. As you descend into Uranus, the first thing you lose is the sun. Within a few hundred kilometers, the light from our star is completely absorbed by the thick atmosphere of hydrogen, helium, and methane. You are now in absolute, pitch-black night, and the pressure begins to build. On Earth, standing at sea level, the atmosphere presses against you with a force of 1 bar. It is a gentle embrace. It is the weight of the air you were evolved to breathe. As you fall deeper into Uranus, the pressure reaches 10 bars, then 100, then 1,000. At this depth, the temperature, which was minus 224 degrees Celsius at the cloud tops, begins to aggressively rise. The extreme compression of the atmosphere generates heat. You are falling into a dark freezer that is burning on the inside. At a depth of about 7,000 kilometers, something horrifying happens to the space around you. The pressure reaches 100,000 times the atmospheric pressure of Earth. The temperature climbs to thousands of degrees. Under these conditions, gas can no longer exist as a gas, but it is too hot to become a solid. The matter around you fundamentally changes its identity. It becomes a supercritical fluid. You have reached the ocean. Scientists call Uranus and Neptune ice giants. It is a terrible, misleading name. There is no solid ice here. Beneath the atmosphere of Uranus lies a global, churning, boiling ocean of water, ammonia, and methane. A fluid so dense it behaves like a liquid, but expands like a gas. It is a terrifying, highly pressurized chemical soup, thousands of kilometers deep, swirling in complete and utter darkness. There are no waves here. There is no surface. The gas atmosphere simply thickens until it becomes an ocean without a boundary. If you were somehow magically protected from the heat and the pressure, and you tried to swim in it, you would feel an overwhelming, suffocating resistance. It is thick, it is viscous, it is electrically conductive. This ocean is not a place for life. It is an industrial solvent on a planetary scale, and this is where the magic happens. This ocean is rich in methane. Methane is a simple molecule, one carbon atom surrounded by 4 hydrogen atoms. As you sink deeper into this supercritical ocean, the pressure becomes so unimaginable, so utterly hostile, that chemistry itself begins to break down. The pressure literally crushes the methane molecules. It violently rips the hydrogen atoms away from the carbon. The hydrogen escapes, rising back toward the upper atmosphere. But the carbon is left behind, naked, isolated, and trapped under millions of atmospheres of pressure. The carbon atoms are squeezed together. And when you squeeze carbon with the weight of a planet, it has only one geometric choice. It locks into a rigid, perfect, three-dimensional lattice. It becomes diamond, not just one or two. Millions of them, microscopic at first, suspended in the boiling dark. But as the chemical storm rages on, they collide, they bind, they grow. They become pebbles, then stones, then boulders. And because diamond is denser than the surrounding supercritical fluid, they begin to sink. It rains diamonds inside Uranus, a slow, constant, heavy precipitation of precious gems, falling through a pitch-black, boiling ocean. They drift downward for thousands of kilometers, a silent, glittering snowfall of carbon sinking through the abyss. As they fall, they drag against the dense fluid. They generate friction. The friction generates heat. The diamonds literally warm the deep interior of the planet as they plunge toward their final destination. And what is that destination? At the very center of Uranus, beneath the atmosphere, beneath the supercritical ocean, lies the core. A solid sphere of rock and exotic ices, roughly the mass of the entire Earth. For billions of years, the diamond rain has been falling onto this core. Scientists believe that over these unfathomable stretches of time, the diamonds have accumulated. They have piled up. Surrounding the rocky heart of Uranus is a mantle of solid diamond, potentially hundreds of kilometers thick. An entire landscape of compressed carbon, mountains of diamond, valleys of diamond, a jagged, blindingly hard terrain, buried under 100,000 atmospheres of pressure, submerged in a boiling chemical sea, locked in total darkness. Think about the profound, tragic irony of this. Here on Earth, we have waged wars over these stones. We have dug open-pit mines so large they can be seen from space, tearing our world apart just to find fragments of them in the dirt. We assign them an artificial, astronomical value. We hoard them in underground vaults. We place them on rings and crowns as the ultimate symbol of wealth, power, and permanence. To us, a diamond is a treasure. To Uranus, a diamond is weather. It is hail. It is meaningless debris accumulating on the floor of a dark room. The universe does not share our values. The universe does not care what we consider precious. It takes the most coveted, violently protected substance in human history and casually rains it down by the billion-ton inside an invisible, toxic ocean. It is a humiliating reminder of human scale. Our empires, our economies, our entire concept of worth, they are all local illusions, parochial rules that simply do not apply past the edge of our own atmosphere. But the most agonizing part of this reality is not the scale. It is the boundary. We are an exploring species. We evolved to map our environment. When we find a mountain, we climb it. When we find an ocean, we cross it. When we deduce that something beautiful exists, our immediate biological imperative is to go and look at it. But we will never look at the diamond rain of Uranus. We will never see the mountains of carbon at its core. The physics of the ice giants forbid it. The pressure is an impenetrable wall. If we built a submarine out of the strongest titanium alloys known to human engineering and dropped it into Uranus, it would not even make it a fraction of the way down. Long before it reached the supercritical ocean, long before the first diamond pinged against its hull, the pressure would crush the titanium like cheap tin foil. The heat would melt the instruments. The chemical soup would dissolve the remains. There is no camera that can survive the descent. There is no light that can pierce the fluid. We are forever locked out. We have solved the math. We have simulated the chemistry in laboratories on Earth, firing high-powered lasers at plastics to recreate the pressure, watching microscopic diamonds form for a fraction of a second. We know it is happening, but we will never ever see it. This is the ultimate test of human curiosity. Can we accept a universe that absolutely refuses to be witnessed? For centuries, our philosophy has been rooted in observation. To see is to believe. To map is to conquer. If we can photograph it, we can understand it. If we can understand it, we can own it. But Uranus does not allow us to conquer. It does not allow us to own. It strips us of our most relied-upon sense and demands that we accept a reality based entirely on mathematics, on spectral analysis, on the cold, hard logic of physics. It forces us to confront the profound limits of our own biology. We are soft, fragile creatures, built for a narrow, delicate band of temperature and pressure on the thin crust of a tiny rock. We like to tell ourselves that the universe is our playground, that it is our destiny to explore the stars. But the truth is much colder. The universe was not built for us to explore it. It was built for itself. We are forced to be the blind architects of our own understanding. We build the equations. We trust the math. We run the simulations in our safe, brightly lit laboratories. We close our eyes and we imagine the dark. And yet, if you can step back from the frustration of our limitations, there is a strange, melancholy comfort in this isolation. In a modern human world where everything is photographed, tracked, cataloged, and consumed, there are still sanctuaries of absolute mystery. Places where the human ego cannot reach. Places that belong entirely to the void. Right now, at this exact second, while you sit breathing the thin, comfortable air of Earth, surrounded by the noise of a fragile civilization, the diamonds are falling. 3 billion miles away, in the crushing, boiling dark, the carbon is snapping into place. The stones are sinking. The ocean is churning. A silent, violent masterpiece is playing out in the deep, completely indifferent to our existence. It was happening before humanity discovered fire. It will be happening long after the last of our monuments has turned to dust. It does not need us. It does not wait for us. And perhaps that is the most beautiful thing of all. To know that the universe is capable of such staggering, terrifying art, and to know that it is perfectly content to keep it in the dark.